Hi everybody! Making an Alma watercolor might be the thing for you. If you have watercolors and some heavy paper, some brushes, maybe a Sharpie or some extra paint, this one's for you. So I'm going to dip my brush in the water and I'm going to start thinking about the colors that I've seen in the spring. Things that are outside today. So I've seen a lot of green. I'm going to start painting some green on here. Now if that looks a little dark to me, I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. Watch what happens. It'll lighten up a little bit. Beautiful. So Alma loved color. She loved the way that colors played around with each other. So that's really what we're doing. We're just exploring how colors work on the paper. I've seen a lot of pinks. One way you can do pink is you can add some water to your paper. This is called wet on wet. You take a little bit of that red, just a dot, and it'll start to spread. Pretty, right? You can start spreading out that pink. What other colors have I seen? I think I've seen some blue. Maybe I'll add some blue in here. Looking good. Seen some purple too. Start adding some purple. Just putting color all over. Colors that are next door neighbors on the color wheel will mix well together. So like red and purple, they're good next door neighbors. They blend well. Let's see, what can I put in here? Maybe I'll put a little more yellow. I'm doing that wet on wet right now. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that yellow onto that puddle that I just made. See how it spreads out? This reminds me of those forsythia bushes. Let's see. I think I'll do a little more pink down here. I've seen a lot of cherry blossom trees lately. You can leave it however you want. Whatever way is inspiring to you, it's fine with me. It's starting to smear. That's good. Here's a little more green down here. So we're just kind of doing the colors of spring. Earth Day is coming up, so you can start thinking about the colors that you've seen all around you. Maybe you want to do something that's not spring. Maybe you want to think about the beach. I often think about the beach. Maybe you want to do colors that you've seen at the beach. It's fine with me. Maybe you want to think about the storms that you've seen. You can add just a little teeny tiny bit of black. It's very strong. You can spread that out. You'll get some gray. Maybe you want some gray in your sky to remind you of the storms that happen in the springtime. Now, as this starts to dry, you can add Sharpie marker when it's all dry, so you can use a Sharpie and you can create the lines that Alma might have made. One thing that I like to do is take a little piece of cut up cardboard, and if you dip it in black acrylic paint, or even tempera paint if you have it, you can actually make some prints. Now this is still kind of wet, so ideally you'd want it to be dry, but I'm gonna see what happens. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's starting to bleed a little bit to kind of like spread out a little bit. That's okay. This is very similar to some of the works that we saw on the slideshow that Alma did. So my lines aren't quite as crisp as her because they're starting to spread out a little bit, but it's still creating a really neat effect. And again, one of the great things about art is that there's really no right or wrong. It's just kind of what brings joy to you. So that's one way to do an Alma artwork. Hope you enjoy.